Morning peeps, it's Roy from A Geek's Adventures. Woohoo! Broadcasting from Studio Beta in a townhome in the Clintonville section of Columbus, Ohio. Hey, just some quick newsy general stuff. It is the fall, so all the hot, really cool superhero-y stuff that's like later in the holidays, Thor, and the usual suspects. So right now at this point, just kind of general, it's general newsy stuff. For instance, how much butt is kick? How much butt is it kicking? A lot. Considering the fact that the Dark Tower was released and kind of the tower collapsed. Get it? I know it's not that funny. Never mind. You get the idea. And Stephen King adaptations, reactions get kind of quirky. This movie is basically made up for about 6 or 7 decades of movies. All right, so not everyone will forgive Maximum Overdrive, but at this point, monetarily, in terms of reviews, I know so many people have seen it and are just like, I'm surprised actually Tim Curry hasn't been going, dang, this kid's good. Which has actually been really important for box office because, it sounded like the summer was going to be doing okay until August came out, then all of a sudden everything went bad. Dark Tower, The Hitman's Bodyguard, Atomic Blonde, a plethora of movies came out, and besides Annabelle, everything just kind of grossly underperformed. So hooray for it to basically keep movie owners and film executives from going, wow, it's going to be that kind of a year, isn't it? Well, actually, apparently numbers are still saying that. Yeah, it's gonna be that kind of a year. But for regular people like us who just want to go to movies and not have to spend like a mortgage worth, woo! So yay! At this point, I believe it's 2019. I believe is when the sequel's coming out, and if memory serves, the films are set up so that in the next film we get to see the Losers Club as adults, to take on it. So hey, one more chance to visit Derry, Maine. Woo! And fortunately, we haven't seen a run of clowns and red balloons come. On the one hand, the pranky part of me is like, that'd be kind of funny. On the other hand, considering how kind of weird stuff tends to get out of control, in some ways kind of a good thing. So yay! Speaking of weird stuff, a series of films are running into, how some films, it's kind of a joke, but not that they're cursing, like Poltergeist. In some ways, I guess Nolan's Dark Knight, at least the Dark Knight started to get a little story because of Heath Ledger and then what happened to Morgan Freeman with his car accident afterwards. It sounds like Justice League's kind of turning into that. Bless bless the Snyder family for everything happened to them with their daughter committing suicide and them basically taking leave of absence from the whole thing. And as much as we want to talk smack about Warner Brothers, the way they've handled everything with DC, I'm glad that in this case they're really not being schmucks or anything. And bless them for just going, you know what, Zach, you take care of your stuff and don't worry about it. We'll figure it out. I believe he's released a short film. So hopefully it's a good sign. I know a lot of people have really kind of strong opinions about Zack Snyder. Me, I like his work. It's never perfect, all right. But you know what? No. Screw the work. Just trying to deal with a tragedy like what happened, like with his daughter's suicide and everything. The daughter's suicide. So hey Zach, man. You'll get better, all right? And your wife, I'm sorry, my bad. You two, you guys get better, all right? But on the flip side, under less important things, the ongoing, so we're going to be able to finish this movie and release it in November. Right? And Josh going, I thought I left this when I left Disney. So I guess word was floating around that, was it last week? Sometime recently, employees of Warner Brothers were given a chance to see an early cut of the film. And general response, I mean, the good news wasn't, people vomiting into buckets, but on the other hand, it was a resounding the good news, wow, the whole thing is being used a lot. The good news is that, Executive watched, I guess, a first cut of Wonder Woman and went, really? Are people gonna want to watch this? No. So, hey, there's still hope. But on the other hand, considering the running success, or whatever you want to call it, that the DC films have had as of late, what does this mean? No idea. I know, which unfortunately is kind of a running theme with the DC films in general. I've kind of joked about this a lot. Ever since Howard the Duck made his little Easter egg appearance in Guardians of the Galaxy, I'm like, you know what? Kevin Feige could show up at Comic-Con. He's gonna have Howard the Duck with him. It's gonna be directed by Guy Ritchie, and you know what? Number one, crowd in Hall H is going to go ballistic, and number two, movie's going to come out and probably be really good. It's the kind of luck they've had. At least DC has had, I mean, you got what seems to be like a, short, or at least as sure thing as films can be, and it's turning into this kind of giant, Go figure. Well, next subject on the docket. On the other hand, as much as at least the Marvel films, Marvel superhero films, I mean, nothing perfect by any means. You get these little weird, rough spots, But meanwhile, in some of the other things that Disney owns, and usually you'd think be like, oh, woo, the latest debacle is. So what's with the Inhumans? I guess at first, general reaction to the Humans was meh from the trailer and everything else. And I guess there was a giant kind of, oh God, now what? Because apparently, I guess in some of the latest promo material, it says that, this is the complete season, not season one, complete season, to which everyone went, what the heck is that supposed to mean? And of course, the internet being the internet, social media, everyone went, did this show just get canceled? From what I can tell, there is no official word. But on the other hand, I mean, this whole series is kind of turning into a debacle like DC's entire run of stuff, And if it's not one thing, well, actually, no. I think Lockjaw is one of the things people kind of like. But past that, it's this giant running gag of, hey, what are you going to screw up next? Speaking of which, Star Wars, unless your name is Bond or Harry Potter, Harry Potter, Star Wars is the biggest franchise on the planet. Yes, I put those two in front of Star Wars. Hey, you guys can yell at me in the comments or put it whatever, hey, but actually I don't know monetarily which is bigger, but hey, I dare to say that. But anyway, so... the good news is Last Jedi is about to come out, and it sounds like everything's fine. Nothing bad. Yet. But Ep9, so let's see. You lost a director. What's your response? Oh, crap. You go into speed dial going, Steven! Oh, crap, you're busy. Marty! Oh, are you still doing that Joker thing? Never mind. Click. Guy Ritchie, I'm sorry, Guy, I dialed the wrong number. Click. Brett Ratner, yeah, wrong number. Sorry. Click. Michael Bay. No, Michael, never mind. Click. You know? And you're going to J.J. Abrams. And apparently, I don't know if it's only on Facebook, but I saw a posting somewhere where there's some kind of a fan thing to get him not to direct and yada 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 yada. Um, I like The Force Awakens. Actually, I like J.J. Abrams' work in general. Okay, fine. Yeah, the lens flare gets a little wow. And yes, The Force Awakens feels like episode 4. And, I was prepared to post on my Facebook page, this running joke about, things we'll see on episode 9. Hey, Kylo and Rey are siblings. Duh. Hey, so which one is going to be stuck in carbonite? Is it going to be Poe or Finn? Huh. Funny how in episode 8 you have these little cute furry things showing up. I wonder if they're going to lead the resistance against the New Order in episode 9. Huh. And I mean, yes, I'm being a schmuck. It's my job. I'm a snarky geek. That's what we do. But all that aside, I mean, part of this, frankly, is practicality. You've got a timetable that is going ding, 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 ding. You need to find somebody. All these guys are locked up. You need somebody who at least is familiar vaguely with what's going on. You have no time. And I kind of wish I had read this in more detail, but I saw a headline about how much J.J. Abrams is getting prayed. Yeah, there might be some praying too at this point. But paid to do this. Kind of wondering how big the numbers are. So, in terms of practicality, guess what? It's not gonna suck. I mean, good grief. It'll be fine. So everybody calm down. It'll be fine. Never a dull moment. Meanwhile, Kevin Feige's going, this is why I'm the Godfather. In other more pleasant news, the final thing, in the midst of all this general chaos, disorder, and mass mayhem, and in the middle of all this trying to figure out, so who actually is getting the rights to do the next James Bond movie? While Daniel Craig's going, gotta remember not to be surly, gotta remember not to be surly, gotta remember not to be surly. And Sam Mendes' agent going, got enough zeros, man, to do this again? In the middle of the usual DC drama, in the middle of all this, Legendary Pictures is very, very quietly kind of doing their thing with the Pacific Rim universe and the Godzilla Monsterverse, whatever you want to call it. Things are moving along. Not to the great usual super PR mega crazy fanfare that you get from Marvel, of course, or the oh my God, what next kind of chaos-driven thing that's at Warner Brothers. But in general, it's moving along. Their test shots for Godzilla King of Monsters have come out. Sounds like everything's going okay, and which means that was, I think, 2019 King Kong versus Godzilla. Yeah. And on the other side, Pacific Rim Uprising filming's done, so they're doing some posting. Word is, I guess, that trailer at New York City Comic Con. Yeah. So, while all the big players, are kind of having their superhero universes, Legendary's got their own thing going, and so far, so good. Which, in an industry, in an atmosphere right now where, everyone's trying to get these giant things going and yada, yada, yada. Not like these two universes that they're working on are turning into, this giant organism that's all interconnected to blah, 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 the way Marvel's done it. It looks pretty cool. So there you go. Just a couple little things to think about as the weeks progress to hold us over until the more fun holiday stuff comes in. So hey, y'all have a good weekend. May the Force be with you. For some folks, you really need the Force, man. May the odds forever be in your favor. And as always, hey, let's be good to each other, folks. All right. Peace. Bye.